reading for you about somebody who feels like they've missed an opportunity with you. They may feel like you're the one that got away, or they may feel like they had a bit of a wake up call when they encountered you because you made it clear that there was something they needed to work on. And with that Eight of Pentacles, I think they've actually been working on themselves. And you might actually be kind of surprised to hear that this person was willing to dive into some shadow work or forgive some people or hold themselves accountable for some of the things that they've said or done. But it does appear that that's where we're at. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that in the description box along with more information on how to become a member, as well as how to get your very own homemade soy candle on Etsy. Hello, Famous Seamus. Hello, Lemonade. How we doing? Hello, Noise. Let's start off with the Under the Oak Tarot and see what else we've got for you. Thank you for the sparkles. Thank you, Lemonade. I appreciate that. You guys, I got a brand new pen because the other one was dying and I was getting nervous I'd be left without a pen. And I'm lame. You guys, I love copper, so for whatever reason I had to go for the copper pen. All right. What else do we have? We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse. Five of Pentacles in the reverse and the Nine of Wands. Oh yeah, this is somebody who's coming back around. This is somebody who feels like they can do it better this time. They messed up last time, but they feel like, they were given notes. Like, here's what you did wrong. Here's, what I would work on for next time. And they've been looking real close at those notes. Like, okay, so I got a haircut. Check. Improved my hygiene. Check. Bought shoes other than Crocs. Check. Better music taste. Check. I'm not just listening to NSYNC anymore. This is great. I don't think you actually gave them like a serious list of things they needed to work on, but there were some things that were causing an issue, probably for a romantic relationship. But of course, take it how it resonates. This could also be about a family connection or a friendship. I just feel like for the majority of you, this would be a romantic connection, and this person has known if they wanted another chance with you, they were going to have to like actually work on themselves. Strength in the reverse and the Empress in the reverse. Because you look at them as somebody who doesn't have very much self-control and doesn't really understand their own emotions. So they're really, I don't know, man. I feel like you were not expecting this person to come back around. I think you were pretty certain that this person would be busy working on themselves for a long time. Hello, Delinia. How are you doing? Hello, Cavante. Hello, Christian. What's up? Hello. Gautam. No, it is not. Hustler. No, I would not. You need to get a life, homie. Hello, Dizzy. How are you doing? And don't be coming back with that question any other time either, okay? So we've got the Knight of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Wands in the reverse, and the Page of Swords. I think you were pretty certain this person was gone, done, no, further communication warranted. I think you've been no contact with them for a while, and then all of a sudden you're going to get some sort of communication. You're going to be like, what? Who's messaging me right now? No. You're going to be a little bit shocked. World in the reverse, but this person has plotted their return for a long time, knowing that they would not be welcome back in your life unless they had actually worked on themselves. Just like Hustler, you are not welcome back in my live chat until you work on yourself, okay? Hello, Sharana, how are you doing? Hello, Jose, thank you for the sparkles. Hello, Manoj. How are you doing? I don't know if I said that correctly. Apologies if I did not. Hello, Hytham. How are you doing? Nothing about that was humble. Correct. Yes, that's what needs to happen. So, Hustler, feel free, if you're going to comment in my live chat even one more time, it better have an apology. Otherwise, I'm going to boop, do a little whack-a-mole action. I might not even get the chance. It might be, Lemonade that gets to it first. Hello, Respect. How are you doing? It is. We have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So this individual from your past, they're coming through as the Queen of Wands in the reverse. This is somebody who likely had a little bit of lack of confidence, maybe struggled to really know who they were. And they don't have to be a woman, by the way. Queen of Wands in the reverse could be a man just as easily as it is a woman. But this is somebody who would have gotten a lot of their confidence based on external validation. So they might have been a little bit of a player, or they might have been the type that didn't really get into long-term connections because they felt like it would be kind of impossible to keep that act up. So I think they were pretending to be certain people for other people, right? Hello, Razak, how are you doing? Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. What else do we have? Nine of Cups, the High Priestess in the reverse, and the Ten of Wands in the reverse. So they're going to come back around and they're going to tell you that your energy served as an inspiration or motivation for them to address the things that they needed to. Maybe you were one of the only people or the only person that actually called them out or highlighted for them what they needed to work on. But they have been thinking about you most, if not all, the time that y'all have been separated because you inspired them. This is the Cook's Tarot. Well, maybe they will. Hello, Sarkwat. How you doing? Hello, Napping. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Gray. How are you doing? What else do we have? You might see the Hermit come through. This feels to me like somebody has found their path, where previously they were struggling with that. We have the Ace of Cups in the reverse and the Three of Swords in the reverse. Okay, so they have addressed what made them feel insecure. That's a big deal. Ace of Cups in the reverse, this would be like the block to love was their own appreciation for themselves. You do have to feel deserving of love before you can be in a healthy relationship. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into toxic BS, right? So with the Three of Swords in the reverse, they acknowledged, wow, you know what? I probably can't be in a healthy relationship because of how I look at myself or how I feel about myself. And the collective taught me that. So maybe it's time to take a step back and think about why I feel the way I feel or why I act the way I act. And maybe we can address this tendency to sabotage what's going well in my life and understand why I run away from love. Because if I don't dig into that, if I don't look into healing from those issues, I will repeat the same pattern over and over again with regards to love. And I feel like they knew that or were taught that by you. All right, this is the Shadowscapes Tarot. Hello, Fiona. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you, Gray. By Kylie Minogue, I hope. She's amazing. What else do we have? Five of Pentacles. Seven of Cups and the King of Swords. There was loneliness and isolation, perhaps even some financial issues. But the Queen of Wands in the reverse decided that it was important to deal with these emotional issues, perhaps at the same time as dealing with the financial issues, but it was a priority. And now they're coming through as the King of Swords, which is why we don't pay too close attention to the gender in the tarot, because the Queen of Wands in the reverse is also this King of Swords. Someone who I think is actually quite intelligent, but maybe was a little bit clueless when it came to emotional maturity. Now they are starting to appreciate the other side of themselves because of the light that you shone on that path or because of the example that you gave them. Eight of Swords in the reverse. Now I feel like they actually understand what unconditional love is, but they also have addressed the fact that they didn't really feel deserving of that love. This was somebody who felt like they could, you know, have some fun as far as maybe physical intimacy or maybe have like a 3-week interaction with somebody, but they always expected the ending. They always expected to get rejected or somebody to feel like, oh, that's not really a good match. Hello, Rachel. How are you doing? So we have the Fool and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, you gave a positive example of self-love to this person. You taught them that there could be a different kind of life or a different path forward because of how you operate and because of how you treat yourself. Strength and death. So what previously came through as strength in the reverse or a lack of courage, now we have strength in the upright. Now we have death, which talks about a transformation or metamorphosis. So even if nothing happens between you and this person, like a second chapter in your relationship, you have at the very least inspired them to make changes in their life that allow for them to actually care about themselves in a different way. Oh, I hope it went well. What else do we have? Hierophant in the reverse. Hanged Man. What was previously prized may have been tossed out the window. There's different priorities here. It's like someone gave you the manual to living, but it was an outdated version. And as you get to a certain age, you start to realize, you know what, like I got this book, but I could like add little notations on the side, or, maybe I need to update it to reflect the current times. We have someone who has a different perspective on who they want to be, how they should approach people, and what they prioritize. It's completely different from when you all knew each other. It's like they wrote their own playbook after someone else gave them the playbook. Hello, Weird. How are you doing? Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Seven of Wands in the reverse. And the Eight of Wands in the reverse. So you've gone no contact with this person, and I feel like you probably blocked them. Maybe not on everything. Or maybe you just appreciate that this person is probably not going to talk to you. But with this Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like you look at this as like, it's done. I don't see another conversation happening. I don't think that they're going to come back around because they know that you're not interested. Well, I think you might be a little bit wrong about that. This is the Gilded Reverie. What else do we have? Hello, Mac. How are you doing? Number 33, the Key. So this Queen of Wands in the reverse, who is also our King of Swords, they see things differently. They have rearranged their life. They have a new perspective, and they understand what you said or what you taught to them in a very real way. But they view you as the person who like inspired them or motivated them to make these changes and rewrite that playbook. Number 44, the magnifying glass. You told this person that their love life wasn't going to change unless they changed themselves. I don't think they really wanted a long-term relationship until they encountered you. And I feel like they even kind of surprised themselves by wanting that because they are so accustomed to generally distancing themselves from those committed, exclusive relationships. So, in other words, you've got a player not wanting to be a player anymore. And a player can be of any gender. But you've got a player who has been working on themselves because they want to be able to actually love and be loved. And for some of you, this person wants marriage, family, chicken coop, all of it. I don't know, white picket fence. This person has started daydreaming about a life that previously was not of interest to them, but that's because they had never met anybody like you. Hello, Michael. Hello, Anne-Marie. How you doing? So we have the maze, the compass, and the letter. Now that they have been able to find themselves, now that they've been able to work on the emotional blockages that they had, they're working on planning a trip to you. So if they're not in your neighborhood, they're not in your, city or state or country, they're making plans to come see you. They definitely want to see you. And thank you for the DJ cat. It's always so cute. All right, this is the Spellcaster's Tarot. Let's see what else we've got for you. Chariot. 3 of Cups in the reverse. They're coming to see you. And I think that, like, if you were to tell your best friend would be like, who? No, you are not seeing that person. You can't trust them at all. They're just a big old player. They just think about themselves. They're not capable of a long-term relationship. What are you talking about? And this is somebody, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the King of Swords. They want to prove to you that they are capable of a long-term relationship, but really only if it involves you. They don't want this long-term relationship with anybody else. Just you. I told you we'd see the Hermit. Because they've found themselves. They understand what they want. And previously they didn't. And they consider you the one that got away. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So they're like, okay, well, I guess I have to come back around and talk to you and tell you that I changed my life because of you. You changed my life. Six of Pentacles in the reverse, 4 of Cups in the reverse, 7 of Swords in the reverse. They're going to confess to you just how difficult it's been to go through life having met you, but also not having access to you anymore. They think about you every day. I think you're going to be completely shocked. I think you imagine that this person forgot about you 24 hours after you stopped talking because you know that they had a roster. You know that they had multiple people trying to get them to commit. So to you, it's like, I don't know, do they even know my name? Yes, they do. They're basically obsessed with you. Although I think it's really just that they fell in love. And then it was like, okay, well, I guess if I'm in love with this person, I'm going to have to figure out how to be in love. Hello, Stephen. How are you doing? So we have the 7 of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Everyone looks at this person as a player. It's their reputation. Changing this reputation is not going to be easy. People just look at them as like the quintessential player. Don't want to make any promises, don't want any expectations. 9 of Cups in the reverse, Page of Cups. Someone who, will take you out for a date, but you never get a second one, right? Hello, Tony. How are you doing? We've got the 3 of Swords. 4 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. I don't know that the King of Swords had their heart broken. They were probably more used to being the one who does the breaking of hearts because they walk away, because they don't want to be in a committed relationship. But the distance away from you, even if they're the one who walked away, The distance between you and this person has been difficult. So Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, you have taught them what it is to be heartbroken because you were unattainable. Because they knew that they wouldn't be able to get another chance with you, not acting the same way. They would have to have a completely different approach if they wanted to be with you. This is the Bianco Nero. Thank you, Tony. I am. Appreciate it. What else do we have? Four of Pentacles and the reverse. Eight of Wands. And the Empress. So they've gone from being pretty inept with their emotions to understanding that divine feminine side of themselves. And that emboldens them to finally reach out to try to get your attention. And I guess confess that they are in love with you. You might laugh at them. You're going to be like, I'm sorry, what? Horny player says what? I don't think you're expecting this at all. You might laugh. You might find it very, like, awkward. Like I'm literally picturing somebody who's like laughing at the top of their lungs, like you gotta, oh, you're serious. And then you figure it out, and this person's like, how can I avoid having that issue where you just automatically assume that I'm a liar because I was a player for so long? How is it that I can make it clear to you that I have been working on this? Like, we haven't been talking, and you don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in your life. How can I make it clear that I have not been spending all this time being a hoe? It's not an easy thing to prove. Like, so, okay, days 37, 38, 39, and 40, I was in fact being a hoe. But then I met you. And on days 43, 44, 45, 46, and on, I decided to no longer be a hoe. Like, what? How? You didn't show up for class? You started going to church? I don't know. Like, you stopped wearing. How do you show that somebody, like, that already knows that you're not very good with commitment, like, hey, check it out, I got my gold star, now I understand what an actual commitment is and I'm capable of it. How's it going, Vaccinator? I hope you're having a good one. Did I say hello to Matt? What's happening? I do. What's up, Marcus? I hope you're having a good one. Hello, Shayla. Oh, yeah, we are at about almost 29 minutes, actually. But you can still rewind. So we have the Six of Swords and the reverse. How do I convince you that I am not a garden tool anymore? I swear, I gave it up for Lent. I don't do that anymore. Actually, I think what we need the new skeletons, don't we? The Dead Inside deck. What else? Just a phase. That was just my hoe phase. No big deal. Nothing to see here. They acknowledge that it was escapism. You know, that it was just not wanting to deal with their healing. But are they also minimizing whether or not that's still a problem? Aw, thank you, Marcus. Let me add that. 2 questions. I gave up Catholicism for Lent. That's rough. That is rough. We've got shopping to feel something, emptiness, impulse spending, and another escapism. So we could also have had this King of Swords struggling at one point, maybe investing in certain things because they felt like material items made them more attractive or made them like themselves more. Ooh, Marcus, I hope that means that David is feeling safer. And I hope the other half stops being a turd nugget. Hello, Flower. How are you doing? Any message or guidance? I got you. Yes, I agree, Marcus. Okay, so I'm trying to think of how to give out these 2 questions that Marcus has paid for. Um, All right. Yeah, I don't know why my brain's a little bit empty for that. Normally I can come up with like a little like trivia question. I was gonna say if you're a Reds fan, it should be Reds trivia, but I don't think I know enough to actually start that. It is 7:37 here, Flower. That is quite late. Hello, Maria. How are you doing? Okay, so the first 2 people to say go Reds and then their question in the same comment. Okay, so go Reds and then your question. The first 2, I will take your questions. LOL, Marae. Close, but no cigar. Hello, Ziggy. How are you doing? Welcome back. So we've got putting off feeling again. I love these skeleton cards so much, you guys. We have somebody who was resisting feeling the difficult feelings that they were feeling in the past. And you were the one that was like, yeah, you could like buy stuff or whatever, but that doesn't really actually help you, at least not in the long term. You gave this person something to think about. I feel like you were kind of like a no F's given kind of friend, you know? Hello, spiritual healer. How we doing? Looks like you are numero uno. New boo. Into me or no? And our second one is Steven. Did someone put a hex on me? I certainly hope not, Steven, but we shall find out for you. All right. And then Flower, I've got yours added as well. Did it weird you out, Matt? He's a materialistic Carter tool. You crack me up. All right, if y'all will be patient with me, I'm just going to pull a few from the situations deck and then we will start on those personal questions. Hello, Lee. I hope you are doing well. Let me add that for you. Absolutely. Hello, Nat Nat. How are we doing today? Flower, I told people to say go Reds because Marcus, who donated money for free questions, has Reds called out in his username. So I figured that would be a nice little, you know, homage, or it would honor something important to Marcus. Okay, so we had that love card kind of flip, or love affair card flipping over. This is someone who understands now the importance of emotional intimacy, where previously they were very just dialed into the physical intimacy. They were the type to deny serious feelings, but after having some really serious conversations with you, they have a little bit of a deeper understanding, and you taught them much of what they understand about love. Absolutely, Nat Nat. I've added that for you. Thank you. It is. It is. It's okay. We still love y'all. I do love baseball. Don't hate me, everybody, but like football, a little bit less. I can watch college football. All right. So we also have bounty hunter, chaser, hot pursuit, agreement, compromise, and single. So they're trying to figure out whether or not you're single. And I feel like for many of you, the answer they're going to find is that, in fact, you are single and ready to mingle. Giving them just a little bit of a tingle. This person's really into you, okay? They got blinders on. They don't want to listen to anybody else. They don't want to talk to anybody else. They're like, no, I have reached like the peak, okay? I am the best version of myself, and I'm gonna go and I'm going to see if I have a chance with that person who completely changed the way I look at love. But I have to find some way, any way, to like convince this person not to just walk away and assume that I'm toxic, because I'm not a hoe anymore. Please, won't you please forgive me and assume anything other than the worst about me? So they're coming back around. They know that you're going to probably assume that they're still toxic. They know that some of you might leave them on red. Some of you may actually already be connected to somebody else, but you are the one that got away. So they're coming back around. I think they have been dealing with their financial issues as well, but they don't know how to prove this to you. They're really nervous about it. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got spiritual healer up first, and then Steven, and then Flower, and then Lee, and then Nat. All right, this is the Tarot of the Nile. Yes, American football. It's true. Which doesn't even make sense because, like, most of the time they're throwing it. So I think soccer should be called football in America, but they didn't check with me, okay? They didn't ask my permission. All right, so for spiritual healer, is the new boo into me? Is the new boo into spiritual healer? Yes. This person just takes a little while to let people in. Your new boo is selective. I feel like they may not actually be a bushcrafter, but this is somebody who knows how to build a wall up around them. You have to be like super cool to get a pass or like find out what the handshake is to get in, this person digs you. But that doesn't mean that they're just going to be like, okay, come on in. Here's everything about me. They still take a little while. With the Hermit energy, I don't know if they got Virgo in their chart, but I feel like there could be a little bit of you get like a lot of attention and you feel really close, and then there's like this like give me some space, right? And it's kind of hard to predict where you're going to, like, how they're going to feel. We've got the Hanged Man in the reverse and the King of Pentacles. This is somebody who's thinking about a long-term relationship or like leveling up the relationship. But again, this is like, they do not like giving people rule, like or like the possessiveness, the expectations make them nervous. So it's like, I gotta understand what your intentions are. I gotta understand, can I trust you? But I think they're leaning towards, I trust you and I want to like be with you. They're just a tough nut to crack. Hello, shapeshifter. That's really sad for you, but that probably means you at least know it's not your live chat. You can keep it moving then, eh? Also, I recognize you, shapeshifter. You already caused trouble in my live chat. So don't get disparaged. This is just someone who takes a little bit of time. And with the King of Swords in the reverse, it's like, I don't know if this person has RBF, resting face, or if they're just like not one to like, send out a bunch of compliments to people, but you're high on this person's list, even if they're not like gushing about you, right? Like, oh my gosh, I love this person, spiritual healer is so great. If they were the type to compliment a lot, you would be getting a lot of compliments. And I hope that's helpful. All right. Thank you to Marcus for the free questions, by the way. And let's see what we've got for Steven. Steven wants to know, did somebody put a hex on me? Did someone put a hex on me? Poor Steven. No. Nine of Pentacles and the reverse. The Hierophant. I don't feel that there was like negative, like hex-like energy sent your way from someone else, but I do feel like there's negative energy that you can clear out. Like, you could do something to clear the air a little bit. It really feels to me like this is saying you should let go of some energy. You're holding on to something that is negative, and you could be like, boop. So it could be as simple as saying, I forgive Bozo the Clown for being a clown. I forgive, D-Bag McGee for being a D-Bag. There's something here that you say that gets rid of the negative energy. So I feel like it's only around you because you haven't punted it yet. So stop hoarding this energy. I feel like it just kind of like whoop, 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 like got into your space and has been like hanging out, lingerer. So this negative energy found you and you decided to like make a body pillow out of it and you cuddle up to it every night, and that's why it hasn't left. So you have to expel this negative energy. There's either somebody that you have to forgive or something that you have to accept, something that you need to release. Nine of Cups in the reverse and the Seven of Pentacles. but it's like you had a magnet and it attached to some other magnet. And you're like, why is it here? Well, all you have to do, you have something that you can do to get rid of it. But it's vocal. And I don't think it's very difficult. So I believe in you. Let's see what we've got for flower. This is the Santa Muerte. Yes, I would say so, meat stick. Because think about it this way. Your energy is currency, all right? Let's say you get $100 every day in your energy, that currency. You gonna spend $50 of that wishing ill upon someone else when you could be putting that $50 towards your future? Because when you get hung up on trying to get somebody stuck, when a lot of people can manage it themselves, by the way, you're taken away from what you could be building for yourself. So don't let anybody have that much control over you. Most people can ruin things on their own anyways, especially if they have bad karma. Let the universe take care of them. Don't be spending your energy on trying to catch somebody else up, because you also then might get some negative karma your way. It's true. All right, what do we have for flower, please? So we've got Knight of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, that is a good song. Knight of Wands in the reverse is kind of garden tool energy. So flower, I see you moving away from this impulsive or like reckless energy. This is somebody that could have made a lot of drama or frustrating circumstances happen, and I feel like you have dived, ducked, and dodged away from this person. Good for you. So, in other words, things could have been a little bit more complicated for you over the next couple of weeks, but you were able to navigate away from it. Page of Pentacles, the Fool in the reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like a video game. You avoided something that could have caused problems for you, and because you were so smart about that, now you get to have some extra coins. Now you get some bonus. Well done. What is this bonus? Eight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. I feel like there is a benefit that is coming your way with regards to financial security or your professional pursuits. So be open-minded to maybe like a weird work schedule, or shadowing someone, or applying for something that might be a little bit outside your wheelhouse. There is an opportunity that comes to you in a strange way, but it's very helpful for you. Yeah, I feel like you're going to gain some insight. This King of Swords is you. You're able to learn something new or expand your horizons, and this is really important for you later on. Tony. Hello, Dracula. How are you doing? You're funny. What else for flower, please? We have the Devil and the Two of Cups. There is somebody who puts you on quite the pedestal in a romantic sense. And I do feel like this person has gotten a bit obsessive about you, but I feel like you are trying to distance yourself from this person. This is somebody who is immature. And I feel like you've already decided there's nothing else that can happen between the two of you because they have not worked on themselves. This person's going to be trying to come back around. it's going to be like irritating for you. And I feel like you can kind of sense their energy before they actually do come back around. But it's okay. You're going to have like making more money keeping you busy. Oh, you're so welcome, Flower. All right, let's see what we've got for Lee. This is the Tarot of the Cat People. What do we have for Lee, please? Hello, See the Gray. How are you doing? Good, Flower. I'm glad. There is a coconut cream Dr. Pepper, and I don't think I'm gonna try it, you guys. I was told by the cash register lady that it was not good. Sleep well, Flower. What do we have for Lee, please? Ace of Wands, Three of Cups, the Emperor, and the Eight of Cups. I feel like there's someone new that you're about to meet. This is someone who can help you navigate, well, let me just ask, is this... so I feel like you're going to encounter someone who changes things for you from a financial standpoint. So this could even be like a financial advisor. But I feel like more so, this is somebody not in person, but somebody that you encounter online who gives you some good pointers on how to deal with your finances, or financial like future. So, you know, you want to make sure anytime you're getting information on the interwebs, you want to make sure that there's actually some grain of truth to it, right? Is that the phrase? Now I'm second guessing myself. I feel like there is somebody here who's contradicting something that you were told by like a coworker or someone at the bank. There's a new approach to something that gets you, I think, a little bit like excited that maybe there's a better way to handle something. Seven of Pentacles, the Star, and the Three of Swords. This could be something that helps to protect money for Sage, for example. Four of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the Three of Wands in reverse. So it could be like an application or some way to like keep track of expenses. But I feel like this is going to enable you to minimize money being spent the wrong way, or you can make it very clear how you're spending your money. But I feel like things are getting easier with regards to your money. And one of the ways is because you find some new approach or you learn of a new program or new application, something that tracks a little bit better. Yes, this is the individual pulls. Thank you for helping, Nat Nat. Hello, Glenn. How are you doing? Cheers, Nat Squared. I like it. I hope that helps, Lee, and I also hope that you're having a good day. Let's see what we've got for Nat Nat. We'll use the Stained Glass Tarot. What do we have for Nat Nat, please? Hello, Sai. How are you doing? We have the King of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Pentacles, Judgment. So this is a message about a friend or an acquaintance. It could be someone that you work with, for example. But I do feel like this is likely a female. And this is someone who wants to be seen as a person of integrity or someone who can be trusted. And I don't know that I would say that that's correct. With the King of Wands in the reverse and Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, this is basically warning you that this is a person who gets angry slash petty. And it seems like it would be best to not get too close to this person. So again, it could be like a coworker, and maybe you're thinking about getting buddy buddy with this person, or this could actually be like an established friend of yours. But we have someone who's trying to come across as a better person than they actually are. Two of Cups and the Star in the reverse. Yeah. There's an issue here, and I do feel like it's going to cause problems for people around them. So this could be like, for example, someone who's in a relationship who wants you to provide an alibi when they're cheating on their husband or wife. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. This is somebody who feels like they can like cover up a gap in their schedule with a lie. Either they want you to cover for them when they are not at work, or they want you to cover for them in their relationship. But I feel like this is somebody who is not worth all the trouble. Thank you, Flower. Let me add that for you. Not the soulmate, but a very nice story. Can you confirm? Not the soulmate. Yeah, I think you're right. I've added that for you. Thank you, Flower. Anything else for Nat Nat, please? We've got the Eight of Cups and the Magician in the reverse. Three of Wands, Six of Swords in the reverse, and the Seven of Wands. Nat Nat, there's also something here where you feel like you are not capable of pulling something off. Maybe that's, moving across country by yourself, or finding a new job, or starting your own business, or raising a kid by yourself. There's something here where it's like you measured and you felt like you're not tall enough to ride that ride. You're wrong. You are. And you could definitely do that. But the timing element is what's so important. If you were to try this now, it would not work. But you have the ability to make this work later on. And I feel like you'll know when it's the right time. But you are absolutely capable of doing this thing once you find the right time for that. Oh, thank you, Nat Nat. Sai, it looks like Nat Nat has paid for your reading. Let's see. I'm sorry you're going through a rough time. And I've added that after Flower. Thank you again, Nat Nat. All right. Nat Nat, I hope that helps. And let's see. Let's see what we've got for Flower. So, what else does Flower need to know with regards to the bike instructor? Ten of Swords, Hanged Man. The bike instructor is going through a dark night of the soul. Ten of Swords, end of a chapter, changing their perspective, seeing things different, having to end things and start something new. So this is a difficult time to get something started when somebody is like, I just woke up. I don't know what's going on. I got to change stuff, right? Like they're not at a point of stability yet. It's still like I'm treading water, trying to figure out what's going on. So is this flower's soulmate? So you don't have one soulmate, right? There's multiple soulmates out there, and they don't always have to be romantic. This is someone who, in the right time, could be a soulmate, but as of right now, no. Ace of Cups in the reverse. So could this evolve? Yes, but there are too many unknown variables because this person's in motion, right? It's like if you try to take a picture of someone while they're running, it's probably going to look a little bit weird, right? This person's not ready. The bike instructor's not ready for that because they're still, like, the Polaroid is still developing, right? But there is a possibility that this is somebody that you could absolutely get on with, like, be very happy with, but the dust has not settled yet. There are still some things that need to be worked out. Excellent. Yeah, that's a long time. And that could be a problem because I don't know that that lines up with your timing. So if he's able to press, fast forward or like, let's do this a little bit faster, then there might be a chance. But I do feel like there's a little bit of a delay on the bike instructor's side, which might cause there to be, like a missed connection kind of situation. And is it true that Flower is going to be meeting a soulmate in autumn? Is it still true that Flower is going to meet a soulmate in autumn? It does look like this is a little bit delayed. King of Wands in the reverse. I feel like there's somebody here who's not been doing their work. So with this Six of Pentacles, there's two people getting coins tossed at them. Your soulmate that was supposed to be showing up in autumn, they've been splitting their time between two objectives or pursuits, and it wasn't really a good call, unfortunately. So this is potentially moving back to, like October, November. Empress, Tower, and Page of Swords. The reality is there's more than one person showing up for you at the end of this year. And initially there was going to be some difference in the time frame that they showed up, but now it looks like they're showing up at the same time. So it's like Miss Doubtfire when Robin Williams has to do dinners with two people and change his outfit in between. You might have a busy social schedule in October/November. But there is still a soulmate around that time, probably two. So that sounds like fun. Make sure you have two really hot dresses or outfits. It doesn't have to be a dress. All right, let's see what we have for Sai. And thank you, Nat Nat, for being so kind. Hello, Leo. How are you doing? Hello, Mac. I hope you're having a good day. That's perfect, Flower. All right. What does Sai need to know, please? What does Sai need to know? So we have the Death card, the Three of Swords in the reverse, the World in the reverse, the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Wands. It is very heavy energy, Sai, and I'm sorry that you're going through all of this. I do feel like there is an optimistic, like a spark within you that will carry you through this difficult time. And I do feel like there is supportive energy around you, even if you don't see it easily. I'm getting that somebody forgives you. You might be overly harsh on yourself, blaming yourself for something that was not your fault. And I keep hearing, I forgive you, it wasn't your fault. So if you're being kind of like caught up on something that you feel like you should have done differently, there's someone here who cares for you deeply, alive or passed on, that's up to you. But this person feels like you are making a mountain out of a molehill, that you need to be a little bit more forgiving of yourself. This person feels like you did what you could. Could be your mother. We have the Empress, Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, I feel like you're being too harsh on yourself for a choice that you've made. And you're being overly critical of yourself. So there's someone here who's literally just like, stop it. Stop being so mean to yourself. Stop blaming yourself for something. You did the best with what you could. You had the information and you did what you could. So there's love and like a hug coming from someone who feels like you need to give it a rest and not be so harsh, not be so critical, because it is what it is and you did what you could. So know that you are forgiven. Know that you are still held in high regard, or somebody wants to give you a big hug. And any advice on moving forward in the coming months? Page of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, Star in the reverse, King of Cups. So there's advice here to be cautious around a younger person who has the tendency to bring out immature behavior in others. So this could be like a brother or a close friend, maybe even like a roommate or a coworker. But there's someone here whose carelessness has the ability to catch you up in some drama that you don't need to be a part of. So, Sai, if there's someone who invites you to a party and you know it's only going to be trouble, listen to that little voice in your head that says don't go, and don't go. If there's someone who you know is really bad with money and they're asking you if you can loan them $1,000 and you know you're never going to see that money again, don't do it. There's a little voice that warns you, and I feel like there's a temptation to ignore that advice, but you are right that that person cannot be trusted, or that that person is trouble. So your gut feeling is correct. Don't do it. Don't loan them the money, or don't let them crash on your couch, whatever it is. But you got this. You can navigate this. Even though it's a little bit difficult, you'll be stronger for having gone through this. Hello, Rick. How are you doing? All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for the likes, and thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping the video if you're able to. And I will see you on the next reading. You're so welcome, Sai.